This is Chris with Grow Appalachia, and I'm going to show you some equipment that we'll use in the first stage of our layout process for the high tunnels. First, I'd like to encourage you to use some safety equipment. So we have just a simple pair of safety glasses, and we're also going to use some hearing protection as well. So first we have some 100-foot long fabric tapes to lay out the tunnels with. We're going to use these to take our measurements. I also have a shorter tape to use on some of our shorter measurements during the process. We're also going to use a 4-inch long carriage bolt that we use to build the tunnel, just as a simple pin to lay out the corners of the high tunnel as we go. Also have a level that is magnetic, that is going to sit on the side of our posts as we drive them in to keep the posts level throughout the process. To protect the top of the post, we're going to use a non-hardened steel head that inserts into the post. And to drive the post, you can either use an 8-pound sledgehammer, and for a taller post you might have to use a ladder at the beginning. Ideally, you'll use a standard T-post driver, which you can get at any farm store.
All right, we're getting ready to lay out our structure here. The first thing we're going to do is set our first corner pin for our structure. The location of this pin is fairly arbitrary. You usually relate it to the structures or infrastructure that you have surrounding your tunnel. So what we're going to work off of is our former bean trellis from this year. We want to keep it in line with the front of this field that we're going to be working in. And so we have arbitrarily chosen this point right here for this first ground pin. So you want the pin to be in the ground far enough to hold some pressure from pulling your tape tight along the ground. Sometimes it helps to have a little mini sledgehammer just to tap that in and make sure that it's secure and in place. Then we'll go ahead and pull our fabric tape along this side and measure our 48 feet for the Gothic high tunnel. Alright, so we're looking for 48 feet here. We're roughly the same distance from our structure that we're working off of. So here at 48 feet, I'll set the second corner pin. All right, and we're set there. Third corner, we're going to take a 50-foot 3.5-inch diagonal measurement from our first corner, and we're going to take a 15-foot measurement from our second corner, and we're going to cross the tape over here and find those measurements and match them up on the tapes. So we're actually crossing the tapes here, and again finding 15 feet and 50 foot 3.5 inches and placing the pin right at that intersection for our third corner. So for this fourth corner, we're going to take again a diagonal from the second pin that we laid, and then we're going to have our 15-foot measurement from our first pin, and again we're just going to intersect those
Find where the tapes come together here at 50 foot 3 inches and a half and 15 feet, and place our pin. Okay, our last step is to go ahead and measure the long side of our second side here and just make sure, double check that we have our corners set where we want them. So we know we want 48 feet on both sides, so I'm just going to check that measurement. And yes, we have 48 feet for both of our sides, so we have a square tunnel.